back to do a little more development. Took a little break to get some lunch, feed the dogs, and now I'm back to continue on where we left off. So we're adding our we added our topics. We can add and remove questions here, and then we can see the different views. I was gonna inspect this. So question list, question item. Only the selected should have background color. Let's fix that. I tried to get AI earlier to help me do the styling on this, and I'm not not a big fan of what was done. So question item, background color, I think it has a color when it's selected. Should only have a color when it's selected. If they're not selected, then I just want to see the question. Yeah, I should only have a color if it's selected. So let's go look and see question list. If it's expanded, and what was the property called? Question item. Question items here. And question list. Question answer. Here's question item. So if it's expanded, question item should only have background color if it's selected. So let's add a ternary here. So is expanded. Let's go to list question answer. And this background should be expanded. And we're gonna do this. Copy it in here. And we're gonna get rid of the background color here. We don't do it like this, we just do it like that. Styles expanded, otherwise nothing. Let's do that. Let's try that. See how that shows up. We go to our topics. We add our topics. We go to preview. List layout. Oh, that's not good. Why is it not showing up? I mean, it does look cleaner like this. I'm actually a fan of the fact that it looks way cleaner like this. What am I missing? Like, why? I'm missing something. apparently you have to put an and in front of it. Put an ampersand and then expand it. Let's see. Go to our topics. That's not working. Now the hover isn't working either. Oh, wait. This needs to be in here. Let's see. We go to our topics. We add our topics. Go to preview. It's all clean. We can still see the hover. Oh, and when it's selected, we can see some highlighting. That's perfect. That looks good. That's perfect. I think this is a good setup. That's a good setup. I like the way the item stays highlighted when it's expanded. And then we also have the hovering effect when we highlight a question. And then topics. I'm gonna delete a couple of them. Wonder what it looks like with just one topic. So here's our general topic. And we can expand our questions. That's perfect. Let's add one more of the layouts that we can make available on here. Thought my little puppy was here. Okay, what's another one that we could leverage as far as a view? I guess we can add something that's a little more advanced, like this one. This would be another cool one to have, where they can have a question and it has an image of some kind, and then when they expand it, it shows the answer inside the card. Maybe. I think maybe we could do this option. Yeah, because this is nothing more than a display card. If we go to controls, it's called a document card. Yeah, it's a document card. Let's try that. Let's do a question, I guess, that I would have is for the document card. Ooh, oh, hold on, my dog is messing with my stuff. Be right back. to myself again and mute. Jeez, keep on making the mistake of not unmuting. So I need to create another component for the FAQ. This is going to be renamed. Let's rename this. This should be image card. Get rid of the S there. Get rid of the S there. Because this is a single card. FAQ image card, and then we need a new file. FAQ image cards. And this is going to have, similar to how we had on the list layout, we had a question list. It's going to be the same thing. So we're going to bring this into our cards. First, let's fix this. Import all as React from React. Parent ID and parent topic ID. I'm gonna add a type here. And this is gonna be FAQ image card. FAQ image cards props. Why is it doing that? Get rid of that. And then we're gonna, oh, that's why. And give it a type. This is a functional component that's gonna receive these props. And then we're gonna add parent topic ID. Because this is the topic that we're gonna need for this. Now, if it's loading, then just return something that says loading. Otherwise, go ahead and return the image, FAQ items. And so here in this part, what we would do is we're gonna use, yeah. I'm gonna clean that up. So here, instead of this, we're gonna return FAQ image card. FAQ image card. If we go back to our FAQs, we have errors. I know we have errors because, let's kill this one. No errors. Oh yeah, we forgot on the selector. We have to add the, because we can add our topics, but we need to add the new layout that we just added. So that goes into our layout selector. This one right here. And so our selector, our next selector is gonna be, what is it? FAQ image layout, React lazy, and we're importing this FAQ image. Let's add another case for that, which would be case 3. Case 3. And this is going to return our FAQ image layout. And we got to add it here as well. So ID 3 image layout. So now if we go back to the configuration, now we have issues. So on the FAQ image, this right here, we have an error. Oh, because we didn't get, we don't have any styles yet. Let's take off this. item. FAQ image card is receiving. What is FAQ image? What is item on here? Image card requires item. So this should be FAQ image cards, which requires a parent. FAQ image cards is supposed to be, yeah, image cards. Put that to the side. It needs parent topic ID. FAQ image cards. Parent topic ID, which is going to be the topic.id. And then FAQ image. Let's get rid of this. FAQ image cards props. FAQ image cards, FAQ image cards, and then FAQ image card. Actually receives the, yeah. So we select our topics. What happened to all of our other topics? So we have our questions. And now we have to add our, but what happened to the other topics we had? We had several topics. They're all gone now. Topics, we only have 2. What happened to the other 2? Did I delete something by accident? Let me go to the recycle bin. I didn't delete anything today, so they shouldn't be gone. Today's the 9th. I don't have anything deleted on the 9th. But for some reason, some of my topics are gone. I must have accidentally pressed delete sometime. I only have, oh, let me see. There's some blank ones here. See, like the SPFx is gone. Let's get rid of all the empty ones. Okay, so we got rid of all the empty ones. Yeah, so I don't know what happened to my topics. I had 4 of them, unless I accidentally pressed delete. So in the image, I have general, then we have development. Okay, anyway, let's go to our image cards and let's add some stack, horizontal wrap, and then we're gonna add stack here, and then each one of these is gonna be a stack item. And we can get rid of the key here because we're not going to use that anymore. Stack item. And we're just going to do stack item here. We'll add it down here. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So this is what this would look like. It was gonna have the question, and then we can have an image. So the objective is to make it look like this, sort of, kind of, sort of. So that's another option. So we have our list layout, we have our accordion layout, and then we have our tab layout. So far we have those 4 options available to our users. And let's go to our layout selector, and let's center our pill component. Selector, layout selector, pills. Justify content. Let's do center. All right, so we go to our topics. We add our topics, question and answers here. And I like this better because we can center it. The only issue I see that's left is on the way that this title is on here. That's the only issue, because if you look at the other layouts, FAQs is centered at the top, and also this one, I like the way it looks when it's bolded. So the tab layout has the best look on it. So let's go look at tab. So it's title WP. Let's copy this into our, so we have tabbed, we have accordion, like that. And then what else do we have? Accordion, list layout, list layout, and then we have to have image layout. Let's create a new file. FAQ image dot module CSS, and let's build this. That's going to create our style file. We need that. This one, right? Wait, is it this one? No. Yeah, we do need that. But FAQ image. So now here on this title, we can add a class name. Dot import styles. Dot title Webpart. So now if we go look at all of our components, we had our topics. We go to preview, and it should look, all of them should look like this, except this one's not. Image layout. Why? Ah, oh, I put it in the wrong spot. So it's not FAQ image. Oh wait, I did. I just had it in the wrong spot. There we go. Okay, so if I go to topics, add my 2 topics. If I go to preview, It all looks the same. Here are my questions and answers and my layout settings. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Gonna take a quick break. All right, so we have our list layout, our image layout, which we obviously need to add some images. If there is no image, then obviously we won't show it there. And then when we click on it, that's when it should show, or when we hover on it, it should show the answer when we hover over the image, when we hover over the card. I think that'd be a good setup. Okay, so list, accordion, tabbed, image layout. I think that would be good for now. Let's work on the images part. So all SharePoint lists have the ability to add an attachment. So we're gonna have to add that functionality to it. So I think I opened a can of worms that I'm not entirely certain I wanted to tackle today. But we're here. Let's go ahead and work on that. So let's go back to the topics, or the question and answer. And then we're gonna add to the form, we're gonna add a attachment. Let's add an attachment section to the form. Where's our forms? Right here. So we have our FAQ form, and if there is no image provided or no attachment, then we're gonna probably show something like a broken image icon. Yeah, let's under here in the bottom, let's add an attachment control. An attachment control, I think, would work there. So let's build an attachment control. Would be, we gotta build an attachment control so that we can add our images to our web parts, so that at the end here we can see our images under image layout. We're gonna have our questions, and then our answers, and then our images. Okay, so for that, we're going to create an attachment control. We're gonna call it here. So new folder, let's call this attachments, right? So the attachments is gonna have an attachment control. And that one is attachments. Okay. So in here, yeah, we're gonna create a component called attachment control. So a new file, attachment control. Okay, And the attachment control is going to be an arrow function component. Import all as React from React. And this is going to be a React functional control. And what this is going to accept is a few parameters. So let's start by creating a type, attachment control props, and it's going to receive files, which is going to be of type file, or we can receive nothing. So there'll be nothing in there. Then we're going to receive a setter for setting the files. So set files. Perfect. Yep, it's already doing that for me. There is, I think, a limit on the size that it can be. And I believe it's 250 megabytes. List item attachment size limit 250 megabytes. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure that we add that on there. Size exceeded. Size exceeded is going to be a Boolean. All right, so we have the size exceeded, and then we I think that's all we would really need. And let's add some values here to determine what the actual size limit is. So SP attachment size limit. It's gonna be 250. Gonna be 250 times 1024 bytes times 1024. This is gonna give us our limit. SP attachment size limit, and the limits is obviously in bytes. All right. Attachment control props. We're going to receive the files, set files, and whether the file size has exceeded. And we're going to have to keep track of the size of things. So total size, set total size, and then we're going to have a use effect. Yeah, we're going to have a use effect so that it can change whenever the files change. So we're going to use React use effect. And our dependencies are going to be the files and also the size exceeded. Well, no, let's just whenever the files change, that's when we need to do that. Const total, so we're gonna have to see what the total is. So files, so if there is files, use files dot reduce the actual file, where we're gonna take the actual item, file size. If it doesn't have file size, then obviously it's 0. So we're gonna take the accrued amount and we're gonna add the file size. If there is no size, then it would be 0. And that's gonna just calculate our total. We're gonna set the total size, and then if the set size exceeded, did it size exceeded? No, we did not. Const set size exceeded. Let's get rid of state. I don't know why it would add that. Set size exceeded. If the total amount is greater than the allowed limit in bytes, then it's gonna set that to true because we've exceeded our size on our attachment. So whenever we add an image, to be able to use the image layout, we want to be able to determine whether we've exceeded our threshold for the attachments. So let's go ahead and continue. All right, so inside of our return statement, we're going to actually create an input so that we can add items to our form. So here we're going to use stack from Fluent. And let's make sure that we're bringing stack correctly. Stack, oops, not that. Stack, okay. And we can move that down. Let's get rid of size exceeded from here for now. I'm not sure if we'll need it outside of our component or not. So we have stack. Is there no, there's no children gap. Was there gap maybe? Gap is also deprecated. I thought there was a. We'll come back to this. Let's just leave it as stack. Because, oh, I guess we can use tokens. All right. So here we have our stack, and now in here we're gonna have an input. This is gonna be the control for adding a file. Type is gonna be file. ID. What am I missing? That ID is gonna be file input. Multiple is, it's not gonna be multiple. It's only gonna allow the user to add one attachment at a time. And then on change, we're going to create a function for that. For now, we're just gonna put an empty function there. Anyway, now that we have our input, we're gonna add stack, horizontal tokens, not align center though. All right, and we're gonna have a primary button. And the primary button is gonna say, do we have button imported? Button. All right, text is gonna say add image for FAQ image layout. Basically, it's telling the user, hey, if you're gonna end up using the FAQ image layout, you have to make sure that you're adding images for that control. All right, so for this one, when we select, we're gonna use document get element by ID, file input, click. We're basically making this, we're clicking this through this essentially. All right. And then right below the primary button, we're going to add a message if the size exceeded. Outside the stack, actually, right here. Yeah. But actually, before that, let's go ahead and start creating a view of what the total size is. And then the size exceeded is going to be outside. Okay. I don't want to add styles here. I know GitHub Copilot wants to help me with that, but I don't want to add a style there. So this is going to be our attachment control. And then we need to add a function to handle the change whenever an attachment is added. So const handle file change. Yep, that's reading my mind. And that's going to be a function that doesn't return anything. It just does something for us. If event.target.files, meaning does it have files or not, then const new files equals array from event target.files, correct. And now let's check if they're valid files. How do we check if we're valid? Basically, we don't want it to be able to add if we're already past our threshold, what the size should be that we need to add. So const valid file equals new files dot filter, and we're gonna pass in the file file dot size is less than or equal to SP attachment limit in bytes. Okay. If valid files that length is less than the new files that length, then we're gonna add an alert. Some files were not added because you've exceeded the limit, size limit of, oh, what did I do? Let me format the document right here, because they exceeded this, they exceeded the 250 megabyte size limit. Yep. Otherwise, go ahead and set the files. So set files the previous, whatever we had in files before. Okay. Or in the event that we don't have any files, we just set that to an empty array. And then the valid files that we just added. And now this handle file change can be put into our on change on the input right here. So now our attachment control is ready to go. Okay. I think I'm gonna stop after this. Sorry, I'm tired. All right. So now that we have our attachment control, now let's add it to our form. Right here before the last controller, before we have our button, stack.item, and here we're gonna add a label, and the label is going to say add attachments for FAQs with images. And then right below the label, we're gonna have our attachment control. And what did our attachment control need again? Our attachment control is going to need files and set files. So up here in our state, files, set files, and then we're going to pass this in here, files, set files, and now we can use our attachment control. So in our FAQs, even when we edit it, not our topics, right? Our questions. We go to our general, edit. There we go. And this is obviously we're gonna hide it. Okay. Maybe I'll be right back. I'm gonna let my dog back inside. She's barking. I'll be right back. Stick around. Let me